Welcome to the weekend without a disaster. So far. Alright, so next week is a big week. We have our inflation announcement on Tuesday and the rate announcement on Wednesday. I'm going to give you my preview today. There's a story going around about Mark Carney and the brilliance of the bond move. I'm going to set the record straight. But first, three little stories. Oil producers are in a panic. It is a shit show out there. Oil prices are recovering today. They were recovering late yesterday. But take a note of that price. That's Brent crude. The Saudis had budgeted for $91 a barrel. And that ain't $91 a barrel. OPEC is trying to herd cats right now because there are producers out there that are producing and pumping oil into the market, and they don't care what the price is. Like Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan did not budget for oil to be $90 a barrel. So they don't care. They just want to make some money now. You're going to hear about layoffs at the Kami plant. Why is it happening? Their BrightDrop electric van is simply not selling. You'll hear a lot of reasons about this, but I'm going to give you a point of reality from the ground level. Deliveries are being done by small companies like Intellicom. These small contractors don't have the money to buy an electric van. They can barely afford the vans they have now. I think the BrightDrop van is a good vehicle, but I think General Motors has misjudged the market. Speaking of the auto market, the BYD Seagull is now cheaper. That's right, this brand new electric car, $7,800 US. And remember, there's no subscription or software fees. Obviously, this is going to happen more and more in the future. This is going to be incredibly disruptive for the automotive industry in the West. But protectionism is not the answer. Capitalism is about sinking or swimming. And right now, they better learn to swim. All right, Prime Minister Carney has left a message to incoming governments, if he were to lose the election, on how to deal with Trump. Will they listen to him? Probably not. So let's just hope there is no incoming government to require these instructions. Anyway, this brings me to a story that's going around the internet that Mark Carney told our allies to buy bonds and sell them last week. I cannot verify that this is true. The monthly official international reserves was updated April 5th. Our reserves went up $6.397 billion. 5.302 of that was what they call positive reserve management. So they added currency to it. Scroll on down and you will find that our balance of US dollars has gone up to $69 billion. From $64 billion at the end of February, for an increase of $5 billion. So almost all of that was in US dollars. Now remember, this isn't bonds, okay? It's not bonds we bought. We have currency that we bought. Nonetheless, Canada is on the list of one of the top holders of US debt. Up there with us, France, the UK, Japan. Now we've all heard this. People believe that Trump is trying to crash the US economy to drive down interest rates. But if the world starts selling off US debt, which is what happened this week, hedge funds sold US bonds. That drives the bond yields up. That makes it more difficult to issue new debt because if the interest rates go down to issue new debt at a lower rate, people are going to want to buy the old debt. You understand? Like, why would you want to buy a new government bond that pays you less interest or less yield than an older government bond in the open market? So that inhibits the Fed's ability to drop interest rates. Not to mention that if Canada, the UK, France, Japan start selling off their US debt, that's going to cause chaos for the US. All right, rates and inflation. From the RBC, Wednesday's interest rate decision from the Bank of Canada will be another close call for policymakers. But we expect they will ultimately opt for another insurance 25 basis point cut. I agree. Because remember, it's all about oil. As for inflation, RBC sees it holding station at 2.6% year over year. I'm not so sure. I see it at 2.4%. When I look at the prices of gasoline for March, it seemed way cheaper than 1 year ago. And yeah, this trade war has pushed prices up somewhat, but for March, not that much. Cheaper diesel means cheaper shipping, which means less price pressure. And remember, it's the United States putting tariffs on everything, not us. So yeah, I'm going to say 2.4%. Ignore the rest of this. We have no idea what's happening the rest of this year. I'm working on April. Try to enjoy your weekend.